So we're going to look at Philadelphia's defense. The Sixers have one of the more stifling defenses in the NBA right now. Large part of that is having 5 guys over 6'6" in the starting lineup, and 4 of them being 6'8", 6'9" plus. It's a very long team, and though their shooting's still not really where they want it to be, the ability to lock down teams for long periods of time is going to save them and potentially make them one of the elite teams, not just in the Eastern Conference, but in the entire NBA. So here we're going to look at this point, you can see the games 98-92. This is from the game against Atlanta earlier in the week. And we're going to look at the first couple possessions of what ended up being a giant run for Philly. And we're going to see how that defense kind of spurs into their offense. So this first possession right here, contested jump shot. And Joel's going to clean it up. So at this point in Vince Carter's career, they're not overly concerned about this shot. So that's why you see Embiid right here not that concerned about Carter coming off this, because this is going to end up looking like a screen coming up to get Trae Young open. Vince Carter's going to take the shot. Still 15 seconds on the shot clock. They were trying to get action to get Trae Young to come out over here. Instead, they get a contested jump shot. It's a good first possession, and this kind of started the run at the end of the game. And what this led to is they got to the other side, Embiid got a good post up, got fouled, and then got to the line and ended up hitting him. So at this point, now we got 94-98. This whole game now, just to take into account, Trae Young had really been gashing them. They got to the point where they just put Ben Simmons on him full time, put 6'10", 6'11" on him, block his vision, make it difficult for him at the rim, and then they had help ready at all times. So here we're going to see a double high ball screen for Trae Young right here. So for Simmons, the way that Trae Young can shoot, you have to go over this, even though he's at the logo. He's been hitting shots from here all year so far, dealing with an injury right now, but at this point he was still healthy. So you have to go over. Usually when you got this double screen action, most times you're going to see this guy right here, Bazemore, the first screener, is going to roll. Second guy's going to pop. Here with this setup, the expectation would probably be Bazemore to pop, Collins to roll. So we're going to see Bazemore popping. Collins is probably going to roll. Horford is actually a little bit deeper on this screen than I would expect. You would think with Trae Young coming off this, Simmons does a good job of getting around right here, but you would think that you would want Horford a little bit tighter here, but they trust the length of Simmons, and it's going to end up being a rescreen. So like I said, I would expect Bazemore to roll on that, Collins to pop, but now we're going to get a rescreen, and at this point I still do think Horford's a little too far back, but Simmons so fast, so athletic, and so big, he's able to quickly get around that screen, and now he's right on Trae Young's hip. So that's a contested runner, board, we're out on the break. So when we look at this rescreen again, look at where the defense is at. So we got both the guys in the corner. This is just a standard 2 high ball screen set. And with Trae Young coming off, Simmons is going to recover, and now you got 2 bigs right here. Collins is in a spot where Horford's not really concerned about that dump-off pass. You're going to live with a 15-footer here. Shot Collins can make, but you're going to live with it. Now you got Embiid, one of the better shot blockers in the NBA, great contest at the rim, and that's a difficult shot for Trae to make. He'd been getting to the lane and getting runners, getting a lot of good looks on pull-ups off of the pick and roll. That time, great contest, and it's going to lead to a fast break. So I talked about this leading to their offense. Now look at the way they push and look at the way they run the wings. Simmons, full speed handoff, and now Tobias does a good job of drawing to, poor communication by the Hawks, and now we're going to see Embiid just being Embiid. Strong, and then petty after. But what we want to emphasize here is really for any point guards, if you got a point guard that can push like this, Simmons is taking 2 or 3 dribbles, making the defense make a decision. Handoff here is they're already out of position, right? Because you don't want Bazemore on Embiid. You're not really wanting Fernando on Tobias Harris. But because of the way Ben Simmons pushed, now you got a mismatch. And that's why I'm emphasizing in this video why a team that lacks shooting is still able to be so dominant, because they can still defend and they can still get the ball out where they need to get it out. So Tobias is going to draw 2. And at this point, once Joel gets the ball down here, you either got to foul him or you got to give up the points. So bite for the first fake. He gets a dunk. 96-98 now. So now at this point, just came out of a timeout. You can pretty much guarantee you're going to be getting some type of action for Trae Young. That would be the expectation. They're not actually going to go with that. Here, dribble handoff to the wing. And now we got a one-on-one with a pin down for DeAndre Hunter, the rookie here. So if you're going against Philadelphia, the guy I would always want to attack is definitely Tobias Harris. When you look at Simmons, elite defender, Josh Richardson's a plus defender, Al Horford and Embiid are both elite defenders. Horford's one of the most high IQ defenders in the league. The one weak spot, obviously the best shooter for them, but the weak spot defensively for the Sixers is Tobias Harris. So the draw up here from Lloyd Pierce is probably trying to get Tobias kind of caught off guard and create some actions over there. So Tobias actually does a good job of bumping him off his spot, but now he gets it, and that's just a lazy foul there by Tobias. So I think that's why you're going to see teams as the year goes on trying to attack that. But like I mentioned, over here when you see Tobias, if he just lets him curl this tight, now Embiid has to take him. Len can then either come up for a ball screen or he might be open. So Tobias does a good initial job bumping him. But after he gets a catch, and DeAndre Hunter, just a side note on him, this is a guy who really didn't do a ton his first year playing at Virginia, redshirted his first year, but the talent was seen in his season last year when they won the national championship, and this is a guy who's really going to turn into a special two-way player. And the fact that they're already running plays for him against a top defense says all you need to know. But here, good jab step, gets to the rim. Tobias probably doesn't need to foul here when you have Embiid coming out. You're fine with Len getting that jump shot. But he's going to bail him out with a foul. So Tobias ended up making free throws. Philly got out on the break. Joel Embiid ended up getting a shot in the post. So 98-99 right now. And now we got, again, Trae Young walking it up. If you're playing the Hawks and Trae Young's playing, the expectation is the majority of the plays are going to be high ball screens, maybe some pin downs after that, but it's going to start with high ball screens to get him going downhill. So here we're going to see just a horn set coming off Collins, the better roller of the two. And then, so again, to me, I think the strategy was when they moved to Simmons guarding Trae Young was, we're not going to let you beat us on the rolls. You can pop if you want, but we're not going to let you just turn the corner and get to the rim and get your floaters off, get our guys in foul trouble. So by putting Ben on him, the expectation is Trae might be able to take this shot, but it's going to be a heavy contest from Simmons. So that's why Horford's down. They run another rescreen action. Again, Horford's been low on all these the last, couple minutes. Young's going to turn the corner, kick to Len, miss shot, and then it's going to go out of bounds, stay here. So you want to see them secure that ball. But this help defense, if you're playing the Hawks, this help defense is exactly what you want. Because he drew about 3 guys here. Embiid comes to help. You leave Len open. If Alex Len is beating me, making 3 or 4 threes a game, I'm going to just have to live with getting beat like that. Because of all 5 guys on the court, Len is the one I'm least concerned about hitting these shots. Trae Young makes, the right basketball play. If you're Len with 9 seconds, I'd rather see a dribble handoff here to DeAndre Hunter since Embiid's so low. He could maybe get a pull-up, but, it's a missed shot. And Philly can't secure it, right? So it's going to stay with Atlanta. So now on the out of bounds, we're going to see how they guard this sideline here. It's going to be a down screen for DeAndre Hunter. And then just to get it in, Trae Young's going to get it again. So what's the expectation? What are we assuming here? High ball screen again for Trae Young. Always got to pay attention to where John Collins is on these pick and rolls because he's the biggest threat for lobs, biggest threat coming off as a roll man. So Len here, you're not as concerned about coming off as a roll guy. So again, high ball screen. Bigs have been off, been playing way back with Trae Young when Simmons has been on him. And now this is a shot where, I think Trae Young worked in the offseason on getting a quicker trigger on these mid-range shots. He's an excellent three-point shooter, really good at getting his floaters in the lane, improved his efficiency as the year went on last year, but he's not the best pull-up mid-range shooter. So this is a soft spot where you see guys like CP3, Harden, even Westbrook to an extent. A lot of these really good guards, Doncic will take a lot of shots here. It's a soft spot where you can get a lot of mid-range shots, kind of get going that way. Here we're going to see, doesn't like it, keeps going, and now he's taking another runner against size. So Philadelphia's decision that was made was we're going to play soft hedge, go over the screen, wait for our near 7-foot point guard to come contest these runners, and then we know we're going to have help. Not worried about the roll guy here. Because like I said, we got Collins out here standing on the three-point line. Not a lot of spacing here, so it's easy for Josh Richardson and Horford to be here to at least show a little bit better. Now this is an uncontested runner. Trae Young can make this shot. Not great defense because Embiid didn't get a hand up. But the thing to emphasize is when you get in the habit defensively of making a guy uncomfortable, taking away his first looks so many times like they have the last couple minutes and they really did in the fourth quarter, then when a guy starts getting the shots that he's used to getting, he might not even have that natural rhythm because you've been making it so uncomfortable, making it difficult for him. So now we're going to see, they got on the break, Josh Richardson's pushing, Tobias gets it, and that's a really good pass to Horford. He has to kick it back out. And then that's just a wonderful pass from Ben Simmons. We're going to see it on the replays. Started by Josh Richardson pushing the ball, advancing it through the pass, not trying to dribble up too much. And Horford really would have had a layup. Didn't really catch it there. But this one-handed pass off the catch by Ben Simmons is spectacular. One of the better passes I've seen so far this year. The feel you need to have, obviously you got to have strong hands to make this pass. But that's just a bullet. That's an absolute dime off of this. And to be able to see that is really, that's special for Ben Simmons. So Tobias splits, free throws. Now as you can see, we got 99-99. At this point, this clip started at 4:30. Atlanta had 98 points. You see what the defense has done for Atlanta, taking them out of their rhythm, not giving them the ability to get the shots they want to get. Len 3, DeAndre Hunter getting bailed out on that foul. Trae Young not even feeling comfortable and in rhythm on his shots. That defensive pressure is really starting to take its toll. So here we're going to see, again, they're going to start off a little high action into a handoff. They're going to fake it to Hunter. Right here, this is a situation where for Trae Young, I'd like to see him be even more aggressive on this cut because this is actually a layup right here if Collins looks for it. Instead of giving him that back door, because it was open, instead of giving the back door, now it just turns into an ISO. So the handoff to Reddish wasn't there, wasn't really looking for the back door. Now one-on-one against one of the better defensive bigs in the league. And he gets a foul call. So to me, when I saw this live, that was a travel to me. I mean, he was falling all over. Good defense by Horford. But John Collins is more of a one-move-and-go guy. Not really a guy who's going to, cross you over. Maybe give you one quick cross, but he's not the type of guy to dance with you. You don't really want to dance against Horford anyway if you're a big. So I thought that was good defense. It's going to get a bailout foul. And, it's going to help the Hawks for now. So he made the first one. And then on the second one, tip up. Collins actually gets a second chance. So free throws were really the one area where Philly was not as tight. You don't really think of this necessarily as defense, but when you're in this position and you got the two guys on the inside, you can't be giving up offensive rebounds. Alex Len's the first guy to the ball here. If you're sandwiching a guy, there's no excuse for him getting a hand on this ball at all. Tobias and Embiid should have done more. You see Embiid's not really engaging Alex Len. So Len's the first one off, second one off the floor, and then Collins misses. One thing I want to mention about John Collins at this point is as I watch it, and I watched it back, he really looked like he was starting to get fatigued as the game went on, and especially in these last 5 or so minutes. And you could really see it evident on offense and defense. So that's a second chance, you normally expect him to make. Also a pretty good free throw shooter. His footwork on that spin move was kind of sloppy. When you have a guy as talented as him and you're seeing those things, to me that's a sign of fatigue and also a testament to the defense that, is being played by Philadelphia. So now, off that rebound, they finally secured it. Didn't actually give up points on that second chance. It's 199. Now we're going to see one of the, first times they've kind of had a half-court set to run. So here, we're going to start with a little floppy action for Josh Richardson, get him on a pin down, and Horford's going to get it. So now we got some high-low action. Embiid's got decent position, but Len is doing a good job. He was playing three-quarter, did a good job moving his feet around. Now the only pass pretty much gets Embiid the ball, close to out of bounds. So Len had done a pretty good job there. But now we see Collins jumps, and then he makes a poor foul. So when I talk about fatigue and you talk about what defense actually does, defense is not just getting the stop. It's not just, making them work on defense. This is a two-way game. If you have a guy who is having to struggle to get any type of look on offense, and Collins is not a great defender anyway, now he's making mistakes on the other end that he probably wouldn't normally make. So here, if we take this back, the thought on this high-low is, yeah, you want to have high hands, but you never want to leave your feet in this situation. You leave your feet, and now Horford can do exactly what he's about to do. John Collins is about the same size as Horford. You just got to be long, keep your hands high, maybe even get tighter on him to make this passing angle more difficult. But by jumping, he's out of position. Now when Horford drives, Horford's not the most fleet of foot at this stage in his career. But now when Horford drives, that's not even an easy shot, but Collins fouls pretty much out of desperation, out of panicking from getting off his feet and losing the initial position he had. So that's all, you look at a couple plays of Collins seeming like fatigue is taking an effect on his game on both ends of the court. And Horford hits the free throws, and now, another half-court set. We got 101, 100, 2 minutes left to play. So now, expectation, high pick and roll. Trae Young, you know what's coming. Here it comes. He's going to slip it. Okay, so now we're going to see another isolation situation if John Collins wants it. Instead, looks for a handoff to Herter. Good defense by Josh Richardson. He's not going to give it to him. And now they got to give it back to Trae Young. So now we're going to have a dribble handoff for Trae Young. Rejects it, drives baseline. All right, so now you would think if you're in John Collins' position, he goes baseline, now I can slash and get myself a dunk. Kind of hadn't been getting anything easy, but instead of cutting, he's standing out here looking for Trae Young to have eyes on the back of his head. So now Trae Young's weaving. He still has a chance to cut. All the eyes on the defense are looking at Trae Young right now. Ben Simmons isn't seeing him. Embiid, Horford, obviously guarding the ball. Richardson, pay attention to Herter in this cutter right here. John Collins has to be able to slash here and get a dunk. But if we go back, really, this was an intended slip play. So the handoff to Herter, not there. Trae Young, you want to get a screen. Doesn't even set it, but Trae Young's still able to get baseline because he's so quick. This is a difficult pass for Trae Young to make against two 7-footers, or 7 foot and 6'10", however you want to say it. That's a difficult skip pass. He's open now. If he cuts, Trae Young has a vision to see him on that cut. If he cuts to this area right here, that's a layup or a dunk. Instead, hands off to Len. and Len actually gets contested on this three. To me, in this situation, 101-100, I don't want an Alex Len three. I know he can make them a little better than he had in the past, worked on it a little bit. But to me, I would rather see Trae Young keep his dribble alive. You got 11 seconds left. Come out here, maybe weave around, see if you can get to the middle. Then at which point Collins is actually going to be open. I'd rather have that three. Or you dribble up to the top, and one of these guys is going to have to stay with you because Ben Simmons is all the way back here. Then you have one-on-one against Horford or Embiid. So I'd rather have Trae Young dribble out, see what he has, and then beat one of these bigs one-on-one, draw help, attack that way. But instead they kick it to Alex Len. Loves this corner three, I guess. But if you're Philly, you're a Philly fan, you're going to take that. So now, off the miss, you get to push. Who is John Collins guarding right now? He's out here. This is a result of playing good defense because you don't let defenses set up. You get mismatches. Right now, Trae Young is over here with Al Horford, big mismatch, and Josh Richardson. So as the play progresses, Atlanta does a good job. Collins has good active hands here, at least to make it seem like he might be in this passing lane. I think Simmons could probably still make that pass. But now Atlanta's where they need to be. So now we got another half-court set. Horford's going to get good positioning here, though. And that's a result of Collins being out here, having to sprint down to the block. That allows Horford to get the position he wants. So now what the look is. The look is trying to get it inside to Horford. He's got Collins off balance on his top foot. Anytime that happens, you got to be thinking lob pass if this help's not there. Len's not over here for the help right now. So they get the pass there. This is, if you're ever fronting and this is a pass that gets in, you're in trouble because at that point, if this guy didn't take away that pass, now you're going to have numbers because he's going to be behind. He's going to be out of the play for a second. And now you got on the backside the best shooter on the team in Tobias Harris. And Simmons, not really a threat out here, but this is a tough position to be in because you see Herder's eyes go to Horford as well, as do Len's. So what's the result? Like I said, Simmons isn't a threat out there. He's a threat in here. Good cut by Simmons. And now he's going to be patient. Head fake, pump fake. There's my best shooter. Now they don't make the shot, right? But that's exactly what you want to do against this type of defense. They're going to front, get it to the post. Initial help comes. Horford probably could have attacked a little bit longer. But a good slash by Simmons. I'm not going to force this shot. I know we got people here. Embiid's not that open, but you look at the pass fakes and watch Kevin Huerter right here. He's going to react to seeing Embiid open. Going to give a second to go down. Perfect timing on this pass, right in the shooter's pocket. It's exactly the shot you want to get if you're Philadelphia. Don't make it, but again, when you're creating shots like that, I said at the beginning of this is not a great shooting team. Josh Richardson can make some. Tobias is a good shooter. Horford and Embiid can make threes, but they're not really shooters per se. So when you can get a great three-point look like that, you're going to take it. So now we're going to see some transition defense. All right, Trae Young has it. How quickly is Simmons going to pick him up? That's fine. My only thing is he is proven he can make this shot. If he gets a little bit closer, we're going to see Simmons does a better job of, making sure he doesn't get it. But in general, this is fine. This defense is not a problem. But against Trae Young, against a Trae Young, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, some of these guys that can make these really deep threes, I'd probably rather have Simmons make it more uncomfortable for him up here. But again, with the length, they're not as worried about it. High ball screen for Collins. Again, we talked about when Collins is setting this, he's a guy looking to roll, looking to be aggressive at the rim. This time he's going to get the roll. And now Horford has to kind of play too. It's going to be on Embiid right here. So this is an important defensive rotation for Embiid to take away Collins until Horford can get back, until Simmons can get back. Because this was a good screen set. And now Trae Young has a space that he's used to having. So we're going to see how Trae Young attacks this. And then we're going to see where Embiid comes in to help. So he's going to drive, throw up a lob, and Collins isn't going to finish. So a couple things on this play. First of all, if you're Embiid, Joel Embiid's got to do a better job of taking away the roll man. Alex Len's not a threat out here. Josh Richardson can come over and help if he needs to. But if Alex Len's taking that three, I know it's 101-100. You're going to have to live with that. You can't give up a lob to John Collins here. We're going to see Collins is going to actually get behind Embiid. And then Trae Young's going to have the lob pass. Little off target. So now Embiid gets it, and he's going to flop a little bit, and then they're back on the break. So we talk about the effect that defensive pressure has on guys. Trae Young's probably 6 foot in reality on a good day. That's not an easy pass over two bigs, essentially, right? That is not an easy pass. Horford's hands could have been higher to not let it happen, but you think about maybe is this the effective defensive pressure on Collins and Young? Because generally you'd think you'd see Collins go up with two hands there and try to slam that home. Went up with one. May have gotten pushed in the back a little bit, but couldn't connect on a play. They probably would have been fine if they said they were going to get a lob. Coach probably would have been fine with that. No, and then we're going to see they got an out-of-bounds play. Bembry almost got a steal. And then we're going to see an OB play. Big play, got to know score, got to know situation. It's 101-100. A bucket here for Philadelphia would be huge because at that point, you need basically one more stop, and then it's just making free throws, which to them at some points could be a struggle, but big possession. Just terrible pass from Ben Simmons. I don't know who he thought was not going to see that pass. Reddish alert enough to see that, he's helping on Horford's post or Richardson's post up of Trae Young. But Cam Reddish is 6'9", long arms, good defender. Most NBA defenders are not going to let that pass get through. Important to see how do they react though, because as a player, and even as a coach, if you see your guy make a turnover, mess up, any mistakes like that, you still want them to be engaged defensively, and that's a sign of leadership. Leadership is not just coming in and trying to break up a fight between your star center and Karl-Anthony Towns. It's how do you react to turning the ball over, and how do you get back on defense? That body language is everything. So Simmons is going to do a good enough job here. Bembry can't get it. And now it's basically Reddish and Embiid one-on-one. And that's a walk. Embiid was kind of already back, but he didn't let Reddish just blow by him to the rim. Made enough of a stunt here to make Reddish change direction, right? If he goes straight line, there's a chance Embiid gets a foul call here. Instead, Reddish is going to try to go middle, make a pass out. Didn't land on two, so that's going to be a walk. Philadelphia's going to get away with it. Obviously, Brett Brown's not happy with the turnover, but at the end of the day, knock off some time on the clock, still 101-100. So Tobias ended up getting a post-up, good position on Cam Reddish. He scored on a little turnaround, which we didn't see. So 103-100, 42 seconds left. Out-of-bounds play, sideline out of bounds. Important here to watch the formations. You're looking at where do you think the offense is going to go here if you're Philadelphia. So Tobias already has his back to the ball, probably going to try to take away Trae Young wherever he is. You have to make sure as a post player you're not giving up this pass, and you're also not fronting, because if Embiid's going to be up here where he's at, you can't front and give that over-the-top lob pass. So Horford's kind of going to play in three quarters. You look at where Trae Young is. Likely options are he either tries to slash here or he comes off one or two screens over the top. We're going to see he's going to come off over the top, going to try to get it in this space over here in the corner. Simmons kind of bumps Trae Young. If you got a guy as dynamic as Trae Young, you got to be physical with him. That's why having Simmons on him was a good idea. They take him away. So now it's DeAndre Hunter, second option for this play, getting it. Really great defense. That's exceptional defense by Josh Richardson. Stayed with him the whole time. Contested mid-range jump shot. DeAndre Hunter. 21 seconds on the shot clock. This is probably not a shot I want to see. Not a lot of guys in the NBA who can really elevate and make that shot. Josh Richardson's going to get a hand on it. Another exceptional defensive play. Like I said, now it's 103-100. You just have to make free throws at this point. and really be strong with the ball. You're going to have one more possession to kind of try to get the shot that you want to get, and then you're going to have to play defense. So we're going to see they got the ball, a trap came, a little bit of cross-matching. Carter can handle Horford right now at this point. And now Horford's going to go past the Embiid. So contested setback three and the shot clock, you don't have an option. At that point, that's the best they can do. Good hustle by Josh Richardson, couldn't secure it. Now everybody's scrambling. This right here is a problem initially. This is when your defensive IQ, when you need to have those experienced guys who understand time and score. You have the guy who's supposed to be locking up Trae Young on the floor, second best defender, Josh Richardson, on the ground with the best shooter, best playmaker, and best player in Trae Young now with the ball. They're going to get lucky here because at this point they call a timeout to get the play. This might have been one of those situations as a coach where you say, let me just let Trae Young go try to get a bucket. They don't do that. Instead, they call a time. So now here's the inbounds play. So again, set up. What do you think is going to happen here? Again, Trae Young either try to catch it up the sideline or he can come off of DeAndre Hunter, try to get it back here and attack. But whenever you only have, 10 or so seconds, you want to catch it on the run if you're going 4-3 because they're going to have that foul send you to the line. Right here, really good cut from Trae Young. That's a situation where I wouldn't even be mad if he just took that shot. Look at the way he sets us up, and this is just for point guards in general. He knows where he's trying to get. Trae Young is trying to get the ball on the run here. That's a goal. But look at the way he cuts. So we're going to see the down screen or up screen or whatever. Doesn't work. Horford does a good job taking it away. Now watch this. Just one cut here, and then you're cutting back. Basically like a receiver cut is all you're doing. And he's getting the ball on the run. He's going to get fouled. I wouldn't have been mad if he took that shot. So Trae Young makes the first one. 101, 103. We already saw earlier, Alex Len got to the rim quicker than Joel Embiid did. John Collins ended up getting a second chance that he missed. Right here, he can make it. They can go for the foul game again, maybe try to foul Ben Simmons, or, he can miss, and they'll get the offensive rebound try. This was a perfect miss, absolutely perfect miss for Trae Young. He said he did it on purpose. I don't know. Looked like almost too good of a miss to be true. But we got to pay attention to how they're defending. That's 2 times you had a guy sandwiched, and this is twice with Tobias. You have a guy sandwiched on this side, and you put the 2 guys here for the best offensive rebounder, and he's still the first one to the ball. That just can't happen. That can't happen if you're Philadelphia. That's a way you lose close games. They're already not a great foul shooting team, not a great shooting team. This is the area where they struggled the most the last 4.5 minutes. Is honestly just on free throw rebounding. So now they get it. Now we have a tie game. So now Philly has to draw up a play. But now remember this. So when this video started, it was 92-98, I believe. So that means at this point, it's been an 11-5 run. And when you look at where the points have come from, it has been free throws and second chance. Free throws and a second chance on a missed box out. In the half court, just straight up half court defense, they haven't given up any field goals in that situation in these last minutes. So that's really talking about how good Philly is defensively, but also, they got to fix the free throws. But now you still have a chance to win 103-103. This is a very well drawn up play. This is a play I would probably use because if you look at what it does, is the action is going to make it so there is no option but to leave Joel Embiid one-on-one. So we're going to see it's going to be a little cross screen for Tobias into a flare screen. So Tobias is going to come off here. While that's happening, Josh Richardson's going to flare to the corner. His guy's going to have to take him. You can't just leave him wide open. So the 2 best shooters are spaced. Tobias came off the flare, and what that flare does, if we take it back a little bit, what that flare does is the flare makes sure that Al Horford's going to be able to get the entry pass where he wants it. Why? Because as DeAndre Hunter the guy guarding Horford. You can't just give Tobias Harris a free run to a three. Ben Simmons can make that pass, and he can either hit the three or attack the basket. DeAndre Hunter has no choice. You have to help, or at least think about it. And what that does is that opens up Horford to get the ball where he wants to get it. Now, because we got Richardson, solid shooter in the corner, we got Joel Embiid one-on-one in the post with John Collins. A lot of physicality going on right now, but Horford's going to get the pass in, and he's going to get fouled. Al Horford is, to me, top 10 post, high post passers in the league. Great touch on these passes. And as soon as this pass comes in, it's done with. Collins really didn't have a choice but to foul because you got him on the side. Might have been a push off, but at the end of the day, good pass by Horford. Very well drawn up play by Brett Brown. So he makes the first one, and now the second one's coming. Knocks that down too. All right, now you're up 2. No timeouts for Atlanta. What do you want to do now defensively? You need to make sure Trae Young does not get to catch this ball on the run. If he catches the ball on the run, you're in trouble because within 5 seconds, he can go get a 3-point shot. You got to make sure he's really not the one who even gets the ball here. So Simmons is going to play him tight. They're going to actually get it up to Brembry on the sideline. And now, again, you can't let Trae Young face cut you here. That's just going to create problems. Might have a foul here, trying to be too physical. Simmons does a good job staying with him. Now we got the vet Vince Carter here. Contested fall-away runner. It's missed, that's game. So to end the game, the last 4.5 minutes, we saw a 13-5 run. Philadelphia didn't give up any buckets in a half-court setting. The only bucket they gave up was on a free throw miss, and then they gave up some free throws. This is the type of stifling defense that might make Philadelphia, a favorite to some to win the East. Bucks are still a great team. It's not going to be easy because we know they always have health issues, but Philadelphia has a terrifying defense with versatility all around. If you have a 6'10" guy who can then guard, Trae Young, can guard the best players. Ben Simmons at this point is an all-defensive player. Same thing with Embiid. And when you add in Josh Richardson and Al Horford, Tobias is really there for the scoring, but he's not a liability on defense, as much as last year, say, J.J. Redick was. So this is a defense that you don't want to go against. You have to be on high alert all the time because if not, you're going to be put in situations where these are the type of shots you get end of game. 3 guys around him, fall away 3. It's a great defensive finish for Philadelphia, and Embiid's out a couple games, but this is a team that could very well have the best defensive starting 5 in the NBA.